Hi, so this lecture we are going to look at the MOS transistor theory. So basically what we are going to look at is the working of a MOS transistor. So our focus today is going to be on the working of a MOS transistor. So when you say a MOS transistor, the first thing that we have to focus on is the structure of the MOS transistor in question. So the basic structure of any MOS transistor is like a box, and inside this box we have other structures that are embedded and that decide how the MOS transistor is actually going to work. So overall, whenever you are looking at any MOS transistor as such, this is the main outline that we have to remember for the MOS transistor. Now over this main outline, the MOS transistor has got several layers, and it is these layers that make the MOS transistor what it is. So let's say that there is going to be one more layer in between, one very thin layer which comes here. So this is basically the structure of the MOS transistor. Now let's look at the part where we tell what are the names of each of these parts, and without looking at these names we frankly cannot go ahead with the MOS transistor at all. So the first structure of concern for us is the topmost layer. This topmost layer is what we call as the polysilicon. Now after the polysilicon, my bad, let me write that neatly for you. So this layer, is what we call as the polysilicon. The next layer below that, there's a small thin layer that comes in between, and this layer, it is actually composed of two layers, but for now we will only look at it as one single layer, and this layer is what we refer to as silicon dioxide, or it is commonly simply referred to as oxide. So these two layers below that, what this entire large body that we have, that is referred to as the substrate, or this is referred to as the substrate. And these are what we call as diffusion regions. Now these are the physically drawn layers, and on top of these layers what is done is we usually place a small bit of metal and this is the one with which we give out connections, and this metal is what is referred to as metal 1, because there are more than one metal layers that come into play in any given MOS transistor device. So this is the overview of the structure of the MOS transistor. Now if I were to use this structure of the MOS transistor as such, and we were to if we were to use this structure in let's say defining an actual MOS transistor as such, then in that case the MOS transistors layers will have to be defined. Now for an NMOS device, for an N-type N-channel MOSFET, this is most commonly referred to as the my bad, let's pick a smaller one. This is called as the N-channel MOSFET. Now when you are talking about an N-channel MOSFET, then the layers are what we have to remember, and this lowermost layer is of P-type and it is called as body or substrate. So this is actually called as P substrate. Now sometimes instead of calling it as substrate entirely, what we really do is we simply call it as P sub, and that is the common name that we give to it. Now inside the P sub, the diffusion regions, these two diffusion regions, those diffusion regions are kept as N plus, and this is what makes an N-channel MOSFET. These two layers, the upper two layers, that is the metal layers, the poly and the oxide, these layers don't change, but the remaining layers, they do change, and when they do change, the device entirely remains essentially the same. So that means if I were to draw a P-channel MOSFET, then the essential difference between these two would simply be that I will have to change my N to P's, and correspondingly the P's will have to be changed into N. So wherever I have N and P, those things are really going to become P, and wherever I have P, those will essentially become N. Now the N channel refers to the diffusion being N, and the P channel refers to the diffusion being P. Now this is the structure of the N channel and the P channel MOSFET as such. Now in the fabrication process, what is really done is they refrain from using only one type of device rather than using two different substrates. Here in this case we have two different substrates, so rather than using two different substrates, what we really do is they take one common substrate, and into that substrate they build the remaining shapes. That is to say that this entire device is taken as such, and it is embedded inside another device. And in order to do that, what really is done is you take larger substrate, a larger substrate is taken, and that substrate, and into that substrate this device is actually moved. So this becomes a larger substrate, and into this your devices are fabricated. So when I want the device fabricated into this, what I really do is, inside this device, inside this entire device, I add both my NMOS and my PMOS devices. So now when you look at this as a whole, this device also will get fabricated into the same common P substrate, and that essentially means that this device will come inside the same P substrate. So this entire region, the outermost region, becomes the P substrate, and inside this P substrate both the NMOS and the PMOS devices are fabricated, and such a fabrication process or such a device manufacture process is called as the P-tub process. This is called as the P-tub process because inside one common P substrate, you have both the devices added into it. Okay, so there is the alternative for this. If this can be made as P, then alternatively you can make an N-tub process also, and inside that the N substrate can also come. So this is the structure of a MOSFET. These are the possible structures of MOSFETs that you are going to see in this entire course. So the structural view of the MOSFET is something very essential for us, and without a proper understanding of this, it would seem very difficult to understand the working of a MOSFET. So this is basically what we'd like to look at today. So today all we have seen is the structure of the MOSFET. Okay, right guys, thank you.